Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and thank you for joining us for this free community donation-based flow where it is all about soothing your body, your nervous system, so that we can take out some revitalized energy into the world and into our neighborhoods. Today we are raising money rather for Unidos, which I will drop information into the show notes, both so you can understand all the wonderful projects that they have boots on the ground for in the Twin Cities specifically, as well as get a link to donate so that you can go ahead and support our local organizations. But as always, donation is absolutely a suggestion. You don't have to do it. I would love just for you to come rest your system, recover, take a moment just to unplug and be on your mat and in your body. So without further ado, if you don't have a pillow, grab one. If you know you have other yoga props you love, go ahead and grab those as well. We're going to start on our backs in Shavasana. So all the way down. I'm serious with cozy. I'm going to keep a pillow under my head. I'm actually probably going to come up to sitting so you can hear me, but lying down, pillow can go under the head, it can go under the legs. Maybe you have a couple pillows. And just go ahead and take a second to close the eyes down. Again, I'm going to come up to seated just so you can hear me, but little body scan here from our Shavasana, closing down the eyes. Taking one hand to the heart, maybe both hands to the heart, maybe one to the heart and one to the belly. And we'll just start this practice with a mini body scan, mini meditation. With everything going on in the world right now, we're just taking a moment to not forget about it, not shut it out, but just to create a pocket of stillness. When we practice things like yoga, or for those of you who do strength training with me, yoga and strength, I always think of these moments as dualities where we're starting to train ourselves and our nervous system how to exist in a world where we can hold two truths at the same time. That life can be almost impossibly difficult, but at the same time, we can still find those pockets to take care of ourselves and find joy. Feeling the breath travel in through the nose, open mouth exhale, letting go. Starting without feeling the need to change anything about your breathing, just observing it. One of the things that I love about the practice of yoga is it asks us to go inside of ourselves, but not in a way that has any sort of shame or punishment, more just an exploration of how we're feeling, where we're feeling, what we're feeling. We're going to start with a little body scan just to gently release, doing our best to allow ourselves to find heaviness into the floor. So starting with the soles of the feet, all of those muscles that keep us upright throughout the day, softening through the soles of the feet. Taking big breaths in towards the soles of the feet, coming up to the top of the foot. All these little muscles that flex and extend the feet and the toes, just softening through each and every one of the toes. We're taking up space on the mat. So really think toes falling heavy open to the sides of the mat. Shifting the scan up through the ankles, finding weight in each and every one of those 8 bones as they get a little heavier onto the floor, releasing that grip. Traveling the scan up through our calves, both through the muscular part of the back of the calf and up through that shin bone, and just bringing that softness to both sides, letting yourself fall heavy, letting yourself feel supported. Feeling that heaviness, that gentleness through the knee joint, again, through the front of the knee, through the back of the knee, up through the thighs, getting heavy in these giant muscles, tops of the thighs melting towards the floor, hamstrings, everything almost like it's just melting off the bone and into the earth. Moving up into our hips, a center that for many of us both sits tight throughout our day and holds quite a bit of emotional baggage. Just taking a couple rounds of breath into the pelvic bowl, into the hip bones, maybe even shifting the hands down to the top of the hip bones, just to really anchor energetically and allow yourself to soften here. One of the things I love about body scans is it's a reminder that We are still connected and supported by this earth. It was here long before us, and it's here long after us. So let yourself just soften. Letting your hands fall to your side, letting the scan move up to the belly and to the low back. Feeling all the little muscles along the spine start to release into the floor, up through the mid-back, the shoulder blades getting heavy. Front of the ribs start to melt into the floor, the shoulder girdles. Arms soften and get heavy into the floor. Biceps, triceps, elbows down to the forearms. Feeling the warmth in the hands, that little energy, that buzz in the palm of the hand, letting it get soft. The fingertips lie heavy. Back through the chest and shoulders, another place where a lot of us tend to store a lot of energy and emotion, and just taking a full couple rounds of breath into that heart space. Exhaling. Feeling the heat around that heart center. Noticing if there's any catching of the breath, and just allowing yourself to exhale out of it. We're not looking to remove the heaviness, just acknowledge it. Sometimes that helps dislodge it, and sometimes it doesn't, but just bringing awareness to it is how we can start to shift it and move it through the body. Moving into the neck and the throat, another big energetic space. One of communication. Taking full breaths in, feeling the throat and neck soften, noticing any tension. A lot of times that choked up sort of loss of words starts in this space. So just letting it get heavy and gentle. And then letting the face soften, soften, soften. The jaw, the eyes, the scalp, everything, everything, everything melting gently into the floor. Taking a few rounds of breath, knowing there is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. We're just being held here. Meditation isn't about quieting the mind. It's just about being a little bit more present in the moment. So when those thoughts start to race, and I'm sure they do, something as simple as just labeling it thought and letting it move through can help you just get back to that present moment. Starting to notice the quality of the breath here, sinking down into the belly as it expands, and the belly contracting as we let that air go. One more big breath here. And on that exhale, start to walk your feet in towards your hips, taking your feet to the edges of the mat. Just let your knees knock center. I'm going to move the pillow out from under my head. You can keep it if you want, but if it feels okay, start to cactus the arms. So roll the shoulders back, opening up through that chest as we're getting into the hips here. Big breath in. Today's practice is going to be all about opening the hips and the heart, those two big energetic centers, just getting to move around some of that stagnant, blocked energy. Beautiful. One more big breath in this shape. And then exhale, start to gently bring your knees into the chest, one knee in each hand, holding onto the shins if that feels okay. Gentle rock if that feels nice on the low back, or you can just hold it, finding a little hug, little self-compassion. And then when you're ready, we're going to find a little happy baby. So we're either reaching for the outsides of the feet or the inside of the thighs. Again, no forcing shapes here, just finding what supports you. Once you're in the shape that feels good, take a few big rounds of breath. We're pressing the legs into the hands into the legs, knees sliding down towards the armpits, finding length in the base of the spine. So instead of rolling hips off, really find length so all of the spine is down on the floor. Options to explore some shapes in our happy baby, maybe extending one leg and then the other, maybe rocking side to side, maybe just focusing on the breath, letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. Beautiful. Bringing it into stillness, we're going to hold on to our happy baby on the right side, and we're just going to let the left leg go down to the floor. Nice long leg on the floor. Happy baby on your one side here. Big breath into the hip. Keep anchoring down through that left hip bone so we're nice and flat on the ground. Let that breath go. On your next inhale, we're just going to start to fold the leg and then hug that knee into center. So we're holding on to the thigh with both legs, maybe the shin, shoulders down the back, circle through that right ankle, just bringing a little bit of mobility into the ankle joints. And other direction here. Nicely done. Really hug that knee into your chest. So give yourself a second of really pulling with the hands, driving the leg down into the chest. And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to press the shin into the hands. Pull the leg into the chest. And then press the shins into your hands. So just creating a little bit of warmth in that SI joint. This can be a really supportive one, going back and forth at your own pace. If you have any sort of low back or SI joint pain. One more here. Now we're going to take this into a twist over to our left. A couple things to think about. If you know that you have low back pain, feel free to skip this. You can also bring the pillow down to your left side to support the legs. If you do have a history of low back pain, take both legs over to the left, and you can use the pillow to bring the floor up to you. Otherwise, we can just take right leg over to the left. Again, finding what works best for you, making sure that we can set up in a shape that isn't torquing on our low back, just giving a little rinse through the spine here, cactusing through that right arm. Again, letting yourself just get heavy, heavy. Close the eyes. Feeling that breath travel down your spine like a spiral staircase, and then exhale any tension in that low back. Maybe in the hips, maybe in the chest. One more big breath in here. And on your next exhale, gently use your hands to bring yourself back to center. Both legs in, let's find that happy baby. So whatever option you chose last time, you can do that again. Maybe you find the feet this time, whatever feels good to you. Pressing the hands and feet together, hands and thighs together. One more big breath in through that center position. And then exhale, let that right leg go long. So we've got this nice stretch in the hip flexor, staying nice and active in our left side, anchoring down through the right hip. Big breath in. Exhale, let that leg fall a little heavier. On your next inhale, start to re-bend that left leg, hugging it into center this time. Lacing the fingers together, sliding the shoulders down the back, just taking a breath here in this new shape. On your next inhale, we're going to use the hands just to gently apply pressure, drawing the thigh closer to the chest. On your exhale, press the shins out against the hands. And backwards and forwards, hugging the knee in and creating that pressure. Trying to keep your hips as neutral as possible. So I'm not shifting in my hips at all. I'm really just letting this stay in that SI joint. Beautiful. One more here, and we'll set up for that twist. Good. Again, feel free to bring your pillow over to the right side this time. You'll go with both legs, maybe just one leg, allowing yourself to gently fall to the right. Again, never pulling on our spine. Cactusing through the left arm if that feels okay. If it feels uncomfortable on your low back, you can always take two legs bending, or you can find just a more restful posture with the feet out on the edge of the mat, knees knocking together. Big full breath in here. And then if you're not already in the twist, we're going to roll to our right side. So move that pillow away. We're going to roll onto our right side, bringing our legs into a bent position and just sort of finding a fetal position here. You can always bring the head pillow on top or underneath the head. But we're going to take little hip circles. So we're just going to anchor down through our right side of the body, and we're going to trace itty bitty circles through that left leg. So when we're doing this, I'm really going to try to keep that top hip still rather than like opening up. Let's go other direction. Just finding some space, dislodging anything that's tight in that hip. Beautiful. Then we're going to take this into a half frog. So we're going to roll onto our belly. We're going to send the right leg long, and we're going to bring our left leg out to 90 degrees, and we're going to bring our arm out to 90 degrees. So we're in this cactus position on one side of the body. Again, you can keep the pillow underneath your head here, really opening up through the chest and the hip. If this is too much, feel free just to find child's pose. but we're starting to find that heart opener and hip opener on the left side. If you feel like you have a little bit more range of motion, you can actually start to turn your body a little bit over to the right. You'll find that that'll start to open through the hip a little bit more. But again, nothing today should feel about pressure. We just want to support. So really squeeze the glutes into the floor. Taking a few big breaths into that front line. And gently come on out of it. Bring it back to your back. We're going to just do a little glute bridge stretch here to reset. So feet, reach for them. See if you can touch your ankles. And we're just going to squeeze our glutes and lift up to the sky, feeling the stretch through the front of the hips. If this feels great, stay there. Otherwise, you can take a heart opener, start to shimmy your shoulders underneath your body, reaching for the hands behind your back. Again, keep using the glutes. If you feel any pain in the low back, lower the hips a little bit or come out of it altogether. Big breath in here, feeling the front side of that body open. Exhale. One more big breath in here. And then start to shimmy the shoulders out if you are up on that shoulder line and lower the hips to the floor. We're going to do the left side body, or excuse me, right side body. So we're going to roll over to our left. I'm going to go this way so I can look at you. Finding that nice supported sort of like fetal position here, bent legs, coming on down, just starting with those hip circles through the right side. Again, I'm not going crazy hip circles where I'm like rocking side to side, just enough that I can really bring some blood flow into the fascia. Other direction. Nicely done, everyone. Again, grabbing that pillow here, we're going to move into a half frog. So we're going to roll our left leg underneath us, come into our belly, taking our right leg out to that frog position or 90-degree angle and our right arm to that 90-degree angle. Just start by setting up in this position and taking a few breaths into the floor, seeing how you feel. Good. If you're feeling pretty good here, go ahead and start to just roll a little bit more to the left. Especially for me, I feel it on the top of my hip, but squeeze down through the butt here. Really using this shape with the floor to feel the belly breaths expand into the ground and pull away. Good. One more big breath in here. This time, instead of finding our glute bridge, we're going to send our feet back. We're going to take our toes together. We're going to take our knees wide, and we're going to find a little child's pose. So coming on down. Again, today is all about gentle. So if you want, you can pop that pillow underneath your head. Or you can take it the long way if you have like a bed pillow and support your full body here. You can also bring it up to the hip joints to bring the floor up a little bit to you, whatever feels good. Taking a few big breaths here in that child's pose. Letting the forehead hang heavy. Maybe a gentle rock side to side of the head just to start opening up in that third eye center. And again, just spending a couple moments, a couple breaths in this introspective posture. A lot of us know that our brain is busy, that our minds are racing, but we don't always necessarily stop to observe the thoughts. As someone with a very active brain, this has been a tool that's been really helpful for moving through pockets of anxiety, is just to take a moment to breathe and to start noticing what my thoughts are without needing to react to them. So just closing down the eyes. And if your mind is still and quiet, amazing. I love that for you too. There's no right answer here other than just allowing your focus to keep continuing to revisit that inhale, that exhale. If you're someone who is newer to this practice, sometimes having an anchor word is really helpful for these moments of stillness. So on your inhale, breathe in the word here. And on the exhale, breathe out the word now. Breathing in here. Breathing out now. Another breath practice that I offer you to take into the world, especially when things start to feel really tight or fast or tense or scary. There's a lot of science that shows that just a couple rounds of fast, or excuse me, slow breathing can actually help to shift our body back into that parasympathetic nervous system without having to do anything other than just like 4 to 6 rounds of this breathing. It's really beautiful. On your next inhale, start to walk the fingertips forward. And on your exhale, we're just going to walk our hands over to the left side. So my right hand's going to come to stack on my left hand. I'm going to anchor my right hip bone down, and I'm just going to take a full breath into my belly and then keep breathing till I feel a stretch in my ribs here. Getting that full breath into the lungs, letting it go. Let's do 2 more like that. Filling the belly. Keep breathing, fill that right side body. Exhale, let it go. 1 more just like that. Big inhale, fill the belly. Fill the rib cage. Exhale, let it go. Nicely done. Inhale, stretch the fingertips, and on that exhale, walk it over to the right side. Left hand stacking on the right, anchoring down the left side of the hips towards the feet, letting the body hang heavy. Feel that side body stretch. Breathe into the belly, into the left side of the rib cage. Exhale, let it go. Again, into the belly, into the ribs. Exhale, let it go. 1 more just like that, into the belly. Fill it all the way to the ribs. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Nicely done. Inhale, walk the hands forward and start to bring yourself into your first tabletop of the day, starting to get off of the mat in our biggest way of the day. Gripping through the hands, so instead of collapsing, think of really active hands here. Let's just explore a couple cat-cows. Inhale, lifting the hips, shoulders go back. Exhale, rounding the spine, hands and knees pull apart energetically. Inhale, start to feel space in the glutes as you tip 1 vertebra at a time. Shoulders roll down to the pockets, hand and knees together. Exhale, slowly articulating through the spine as you bring it back through cow. Beautiful. Letting yourself take a few moments in your own breath to movement in this cat-cow shape. Again, staying active through the hands. If it doesn't feel great to do this on your wrists, you can always do cat-cow from a seated position so you can bring it back onto your heels. Beautiful, team. Take the next couple of minutes or moments to add on any additional movements in this shape. So maybe it circles through the rib cage. Maybe you opt to just go find your child's pose again. Maybe it's shifting forward, flipping the palm, letting this feel like exactly what your body needs. And again, close the eyes and just tune in to your body, to what your body needs in this moment. Maybe it's just to sit still and breathe again. Beautiful, team. Starting to find your way back to stillness in 3, back to stillness in 2, and nice active hands, shoulders right above those wrists. I've got the knees underneath my hips. I'm going to stretch my right arm long, and then I'm going to wrap it around past my hips. I reach it out past my face, up and around. Beautiful. If anything is wrong in the wrist, you can always bring this into a forearm plank as well. Just make sure that you're keeping the core nice and tight. Let's go 1 more in this direction. And now let's go other side. Sweeping the arm back, up, and around, getting into that shoulder. Like I said, another place that a lot of us can store tension. This is a big one for me. And coming back to center, stretch your right arm up to the sky. Imagine pulling your left hand off of the floor, little circles through that wrist. Other direction. 1 more big full breath in, really opening up the heart. And then exhale, threading the needle coming down to the right shoulder, right ear. Option to stay here, drawing that left sits bones back. You can always extend the left arm. You can find your bind. But again, I encourage you to find something that is more soothing than activating today. And again, we're just really using these postures to find that breath, to release through those muscles. Steady the nerves. Feeling the belly expand. Really allow that belly to fill like a balloon. Exhale, release. One more big breath in here, and then on your next exhale, stretch that right arm up to the ceiling. Just give it a little shake. Nicely done. If it feels okay, let's take a seat back on our heels just to give our wrists a break. A little shake out through the wrists. Beautiful little circles through the shoulders. And opposite direction. And let's find our way back to that tabletop. We'll do this on the other side, starting with those sweeps. So really make sure shoulder is over wrist on the right side. My left arm is going to stretch forward, circling up and around past my hips. And then again, up and around. Opening up through that shoulder joint. Let's go other direction, reaching back towards the hip, up and around. Noticing if you're starting to put a lot of tension in that right shoulder, just releasing it. Beautiful. One more. And coming back to center, inhale. Again, thinking of lifting up and away from that right arm. Big stretch to the ceiling, feeling a stretch in the chest, circling out through that left wrist. Other direction. And thread that needle, bringing left arm, left shoulder. Just allowing, again, that release of your body into the floor. That reminder, that trust with something bigger than us, something much more ancient than us, that earth below our feet, below our hearts. Plugging into the breath. Plugging into the body. Maybe bringing back that here on the inhale, now on the exhale. And gently start to unwind, re-stretch that left arm up for the counter stretch, and then bring it back to tabletop. Send that right foot back, little rock forward and backwards. If you were in class this week, you are gonna remember this guy. Little calf opener as we press back, stretching through the front of the shin as we go forward, Achilles on the back, and again, working into the foot as well. Coming to that neutral position, start to send your right leg all the way to the left, so like left back corner of your mat. And then we're going to send the hips to follow. So I'm going to push back into this pigeon shape. I'm going to grab my pillow. I might stand it upright so I don't have to go so far to the floor. Again, if any of these shapes don't feel great, go ahead and find yourself into child's pose. But just take a couple moments here, really opening into that deep outer hip. Letting yourself get soft. So if you feel like you're really catching and maybe kind of holding your breath, pull back a little bit, right? So that means maybe we can come up onto the hands. Like I said, maybe it just means going into a child's pose. Breathing into the tension on the outer hip and just softening into it here. Seeing if we can roll that right shoulder down just to get a little bit deeper stretch in the glute and the hip, the low back. One more big inhale here. Exhale, slide your pillow out of your way. We're going to start to roll over onto our left sits bone. So we're coming up into a seat. We're going to take that right leg and we're going to swing it around. So we're into the seated position with our left foot into either the thigh of the right leg, maybe the calf. If it feels good, you can sit on a pillow for this one. It'll lift the hips and give you a little bit more space. From here, we're all going to rotate your torso so that you're framing your right toe. Little bend in the knee to start. Inhale, big stretch up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, thinking nice, long heart. I like to sort of shift my sits bones out so I can get really grounded through the sits bones. And then just finding a shape where we can really soften here. Big breath in, tuck the chin. Exhale, soften. Good, big breath in. Exhale, release. So good. Feeling the back of that right thigh start to get heavy, bringing length all the way up to the base of the glute. One more here. Big breath in. Exhale, start to roll it up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Taking our torso over the left leg, so we're parallel, or excuse me, straight on with that knee. Inhale, arm stretch up. Exhale, right arm comes down, left arm stretches up to the sky and then over the foot, like we're handing something to someone over a fence. So we're really staying elevated out of that hip bone for this first part of the stretch. Big breath in. Exhale. Again, if this doesn't feel great, pull it way back. If it feels like you have a little bit more space to go, start to stretch up and over, reaching for that toe. Again, these shapes are going to look different in every single body. For some of us, that low back might be so tight that we're still sitting upright, and that's perfectly wonderful. Keep breathing into it. Close your eyes even. Big breath in. On your next inhale, come back up to seated. Exhale, re-rotate towards your right foot. We're going to add a heart opener on. So we're going to bring the hands behind our back, opening up through the chest. Big breath in here. Right here, perfect place to stay. You don't have to take it any further than this. If you'd like to, you can start to shift forward. Again, I have to kind of move my sits bones around, and we can start to come into that forward fold now with the hands bound behind our back as best you can. Think of palms of the hand coming together. Maybe you take a big bend in this leg and just sort of find a lean forward. And again, this one's more about the heart opening, so feel free just to stay nice and tall. One more big breath, whatever shape you're in. Exhale, let it go. Nicely done. Lift the arms up, rotating right hand on the outside of the left thigh, and just find a nice little gentle twist. Beautiful. Counter twist. So we're going to take that left leg up and over across the right leg. Shift the sits bones. Option here to kick the right heel towards the left glute if that feels like the range of motion is there. Otherwise, keep the leg long. We're going left arm around the right leg. Little twist in that counter stretch. Again, you can always kick that right heel back. Just make sure that you're still staying grounded on the sits bones. Big breath in. Exhale, soften. Okay, this one can be a pretty tough pose. So if you're able to hit it, amazing. If not, find a variation that works for you. It's cow face pose. So we're going to keep sliding that left leg over the top of our right thigh. So we're going to try to stack thigh on thigh with the feet kicking in towards our butt. So this is the shape. If that doesn't feel good, you can take fire log pose. So you can take your right leg forward and then stack your left calf on top. If that doesn't feel good, feel free just to literally take that straddle pose. So again, if you're going into cow face pose, we're just sliding that left leg at the top. And whatever version that you are doing, I want you to take your pillow and I want you to set it the long way on your knee. Give it a hug and then lean forward into your pillow. Our goal is to keep our sits bones down here. So don't come any further. If your hip bones start to lift, rather, just stop shifting forward and just collapse into your pillow here. Feeling the stretch in the outer left hip. Again, feel free to take that fire log with the legs sort of in a cross seat or even out to straddle here. Again, we're doing a lot of opening up through the body, but we're also doing a lot of these more introspective postures. Just really tuning in, turning in, allowing for that loving kindness to ourselves here in these moments. One of my favorite things about loving kindness meditation and practice in general is that it doesn't happen in the absence of pain or struggle or hardship. It happens in the moment despite of it. And the goal of loving kindness isn't to change the reality, but rather to change the reality within us. And slowly unwind. Set your pillow down. Beautiful work. We're going to take it all the way to the top. So unwind. Find your cat-cow, little reorient of the spine, any other shapes that feel good. And then we're going to do it all again, starting with left leg back. Shifting backwards, getting into the calf and the Achilles. Exhale, shifting it forward. Shifting it back. And forward. Nice. Done. Really feeling the muscles of the foot start to release. Front of the ankle. And then bringing it back to that neutral, we'll take left foot all across the right, all the way across the right rather, and start to shift our hips back towards the bottom right corner of our mat, bringing yourself into this sort of extended pigeon pose. Again, always an option to find child's pose if this doesn't feel great. bringing your pillow up to meet you so that you don't have to fully force yourself to the ground. Instead, find like 50 to 30% of the stretch because we're going to be here for just a couple rounds of breath. Thinking about the left hip bone rolling down to the floor just so we can find a nice stretch in that outer glute, outer hip. Belly filling with air. And again, if these longer holds feel kind of tedious to the mind, I encourage you to practice the breathing in of here and the breathing out of now. More big breath in here. I'm going to flip so you can see me, but if you're on your mat, you're going to roll to your left sits bone or right sits bone and swing your left leg in front of you. So, hello. Finding this nice shape here. Roll those sits bones out to either side. Rotate your torso so you're straight onto your left tootsie. Take a big bend in the knee. Inhale, stretch. Length in the torso, exhale, bringing it forward. Heart is reaching towards the foot. So we've got length in the spine. Again, your body is different than my body, is different than your neighbor's body. So if you're up here and you're like, oof, I'm feeling my hammy, amazing. If your face is on the floor and you're like, I'm starting to feel it, amazing. Everybody's body is different. Closing down the eyes. Using that breath. Feeling the length along the back side of the leg, along the hip, the glute. One more big breath in here, and then exhale, start to walk it back. Rotate, framing that front knee, so the right knee. Stretch the arms up. Anchor down to that right sits bone and start to reach up and over. Remember, this first part is all about lifting as high out of that hip bone as we can. Again, listen to your body, close down the eyes. If you feel like you need to do exactly what I'm doing, it's a great option to close the eyes and feel into what your body needs. Good. One more big breath in. If range of motion is there and it doesn't hurt your low back, you can take it into that full stretch towards your big toe. Big breath into that side body. Exhale, soften. Good. One more big breath in. Exhale, supporting yourself out of this shape. Reframe with that front foot. Shift the sits bones if you need. Bring the palms together behind the back and roll the shoulders back. Try to put the opposite thumb on top. So switch your hands. You'll know you have the right hand when it feels weird to have your hands in this position. From here, perfect place to stay right here. Maybe you take a big bend and lean forward, or if you have the range of motion, shoulders back, shifting it forward. Again, there is no right way. The big goal here is to get into the chest first. So if you start to tip and your shoulders roll, bring it back up, right? Just really work on sending those hands down towards the back of your mat. Big breath in. And release it. Beautiful. Taking our left hand outside of our right hand outside the right sits bones, gentle rotation. And then on your inhale, starting to unwind, grabbing that leg, traveling it across your left leg, setting up for the counter stretch. So holding on with your right arm as you twist to the left. Again, option to kick left foot towards the right sits bone. But again, only opt for this option if you can do it without having to lift your butt off the floor. Big breath in. Nice and done. Good. Moving into cow face pose. So if we're in this shape, we're just going to shift that right leg over the left, stacking the thighs, bringing the feet towards our hips. Other options. You can take left leg out in front of you, stack the right shin on top. So you're going shin on shin. Or of course you can take that straddle pose. So whatever shape we're in, this time we have the right leg on top. Take a second to really anchor your sits bones. Grab your pillow. You know we got a big old round of breath here, so letting yourself fall forward supported. Keep the sits bones on the floor. And again, really just allowing yourself to go inward here. Beautiful. Sitting with whatever comes up. Sitting with whatever comes up, but without falling sort of prisoner to it, right? Allowing our thoughts to be just those, just thoughts. One more big breath in here. Beautiful. One last little flow, and then we'll finish on our back. Coming into a seat. So this is another nice one for, especially if you have low back pain, it might feel helpful to sit on top of your pillow here. Crisscross the legs, and we're just going to do a little open heart flow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to inhale, I'm going to sweep my hands up. On my exhale, I'm going to cactus my heart. So when I cactus my heart, I'm not crunching through my low back. I'm thinking of lifting my heart up to the sky. Inhale into the heart space, and then exhale, I'm going to open my arms, and I'm going to reach them forward, and as I do, I'm going to cat through my back. I'm going to tuck my chin. Inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky. Exhale, find that cactus. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, find that arch forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale through that cactus shape. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, round it forward. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, out to that T. Exhale, round. One more just like this. Inhale. Exhale, find the cactus. Opening up on your inhale. And exhale, round. Beautiful. Little shift side to side. Getting in the top of the sits bones. Beautiful. Maybe we take that shift a little bit forward. Keeping the sits bones down. And we're just going to take the legs out nice and wide here. Again, option to stay on that pillow. Just little hip drops. Remember, whenever we do hip drops, I just want your legs moving with whatever range of motion. You can still keep your butt on the floor. So if you're coming all the way off your hip, just take it a little less far. You might find that you get a little more range of motion as you do this. You might find that one leg is a little bit tighter. Again, just allowing this to be less naming and shaming and more observation, exploration. Good. Wherever you are, land in that 90-90. Take a second to shift. Again, pillow under the hips, great option. And we'll just take a little lean forward here. Coming up nice and tall. Switch those legs. Flexing through the feet, just take that little shift forward. Coming up nice and tall. And then send your legs long in front of you. Give yourself a little shake out and slowly roll down to that pillow. Bring the knees into the chest. Big breath in, and then exhale, let the legs fall down. Let's do one more little glute bridge. So shift the pillow for just a moment, lifting up through the hips, heels pulling back. We got a lot of hips. We're just getting the hip flexors here. Again, option to walk the shoulders under if that feels okay. If we feel it in the low back, pull it back a notch, maybe lower the hips, reset all together. Lot of introspection. This one is now just sort of reopening, sharing and shining that energy that we cultivated out into the world, shining through the heart space, through the hips. One more big breath in. Exhale, shimmy the shoulders out, lower the hips, maybe a little shift side to side. And then however you want to find your Shavasana, maybe it's taking yourself into that tiny ball, maybe it's just making your way. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, surrendering down to the floor, closing the eyes. Take up space on your mat. And just allow the body to be heavy once again, heavy but supported. This practice of letting go. A practice that is important all of the time, but especially in our day-to-day now. And understanding that letting go is different then giving in, right? Letting go is giving ourselves permission to stop spinning on things, to let go of control of outcome. But in order to do that, it comes with the action first. So it keeps us from feeling sort of paralyzed when we're worried that we're not doing enough, when we're worried there's nothing we can do, when we're just worried. It gives us permission to still take action and not worry about if the outcome is exactly how we want it to be. We know the right steps we want to take. We know the right things we want to do. So we do them and then we let go. We unattach from what happens. Because the truth is, when we can let go, a lot of times the outcome is a lot different than what we think. But the good news is that we can just sort of let it unfold the way it's supposed to. The outcome is a lot better than we could have ever imagined. But again, the trick isn't just sitting passively. The trick is still going through with the next right indicated step and just letting yourself let go of expectation. Keeping the eyes closed, staying in this position. Tuning back into the breath, back into the body. I would like to close today staying on your back with something that in the past couple of years has been really helpful for me when I feel powerless, when I feel like I'm not sure what the right action is, when I am hurt by the actions of others. It's a prayer, and I lead with that because I am a spiritual person, but I'm not a religious person, so please don't let that turn you off from it. And if you are a spirit wonder, point is, whatever you believe, I love, as long as it includes loving other people. But it is in a prayer form. It's the St. Francis prayer. So with your eyes closed, I'm just going to close our practice with this today. Make me a channel of thy peace, that where there is hatred, I may bring love, that where there is wrong, I may bring the spirit of forgiveness, that where there is discord, I may bring harmony, that where there is error, I may bring truth, that where there is doubt, I may bring faith, that where there is despair, I may bring hope, that where there are shadows, I may bring light, that where there is sadness, I may bring joy. Please grant that I may seek to comfort rather than to be comforted, to understand than to be understood, to love than to be loved. For it is by self-forgetting that one finds, it is by forgiving that one is forgiven, and it is by dying that one awakens to eternal life. Taking one more nice big breath in here. Coming out of the practice, we'll start to just bring a little bit of movement to the fingers and toes. Feel free to keep the eyes closed. Bringing the knees into the chest and then letting yourself fall one way or the other, whatever feels good. Taking a breath in this fetal pose. The pose that symbolizes the end of a practice, but the start of the rest of our life. Start to gently roll up and into a seated position. Again, eyes can stay closed here. Inhale, sweeping the arms up through to the sky, bringing your hands to prayer. Gently bringing the hands to that third eye center, maybe giving a little massage with the thumbs. That serenity to accept the things I cannot change. To the lips, the wisdom to change the things we can. To the heart, wisdom to know the difference. Big breath in. Open mouth exhale. One more big breath in. And let it all go. Namaste. The light and the teacher in me honors, loves, and appreciates the light and the teacher in you. Thank you for showing up for your amazing, amazing bodies. I hope to see you next time we do this flow. And in the meantime, go forth, be gentle, speak kindness.